What's up, guys? How you doing today? It's Tayo and Wande here again on the African Creator Podcast. And today, what are we talking about, Wande? We're talking about monetization.
You didn't
What
even
are
let
the?
me answer.
We're talking about monetization.
We're talking about money.
Yeah, monetization. What are the multiple ways creators can actually monetize their products?
Your products. I think we were having this conversation in the past, and we said obviously we refer to creators as people who create, right? So not only videos, but photographers, business people, entrepreneurs, people who make products,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. And in monetization, I think the dominant ways right now are through views, in terms of AdSense or through whatever platform you are, and then through sponsorships.
But the way you started, if you say entrepreneurs don't make money through views.
Well,
Except
through
what we are saying is people who make digital content.
So digital content is through views and through sponsorships.
Sponsorships, yeah.
Physical creators make their money through sales of
Products,
right?
yeah.
Now the question is, how are we maximizing those existing platforms or ways of making money, and then are there more ways to monetize either your content or your product or yourself as a creator? So not necessarily your product, but yourself as a creator. Are there more ways?
Yeah. So I think from the digital space, like a space like YouTube, there are multiple ways to monetize. The most dominant ones are from views, which is AdSense,
Yeah.
and then sponsorships, when
Yeah.
companies pay you to talk about their products. Whether you like it or not, you still have to talk about it so that you get paid and you can pay your bills.
Yeah.
Then I think those are the major modes African creators are currently using now. But I also feel there are a lot more models or modes of monetization that people are not really doing, and there might be a lot of factors involved. Some of them is just the environmental factor. So if you look at a lot of creators outside Africa, a lot of them, like some of them even have physical products. Like someone like Emma Chamberlain, she has her own coffee.
Yeah.
Someone like people like Mr. Beast and the rest, they have their own burger and stuff like that. And I think like those are some of the new modes of monetization with your like monetizing your brands that African creators need to start looking at exploring. Not just only like when a brand wants to give you money, then you market their product and then you market it for them.
Yeah.
So I think another one too that I noticed too is merchandise. We don't really have, I don't know of any creator in Africa that has successfully built a strong merchandise.
I mean, you say merchandise, right? And that just reminds me of something. I'm just remembering that. Do you remember the time where like everybody had like a Starboy T-shirt?
Yeah.
And just to think that might have not come from Wizkid, like that was just
True.
pirated. And
Yeah,
people just
yeah.
wore Starboy T-shirts. So
True.
that's something that's very intriguing, right? With the African spaces where, you know, there have been generations of people of times where there have just been T-shirts with funky messages,
Like
the
Ama Kip Kip.
the Ama Kip Kip days, you know, the Starboy days where these artists don't necessarily make money off of their IP, because Starboy is Wizkid's IP.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been able to make money. So I think that is what you're talking about when it comes to environmental challenges. Like in the US, you can easily do like a cease and desist.
A cease and desist, yeah.
And you can sue the person that
sue the
makes that
person,
shirt,
yeah.
right? But now it's like if a Wizkid fan can come up to Wizkid like, be your fan, Starboy, and Wizkid can do nothing,
True.
about it. So it's very intriguing. One thing I also say about merchandise is that it's hard to control, man. Like, first of all, the manufacturing chain, we have a huge manufacturing problem
And then logistics
in
too.
Africa, and logistics. So by the time you spend so much money making the merchandise, that would then make sure that you can't price the shirts like normally. You know, a good shirt probably, you can't, instead of you to price it like 5K, you have to price it like 15, 20K, because you're putting quality into it, right?
Yeah,
then shipping it to whoever it is,
and then also even quality control. The problem with stuffs, especially like the problem with products when they are not digital, is it's so difficult to scale. Like imagine you had maybe like somebody you were working with, and they could produce maybe like 100 shirts for you in a month. If you have a bigger audience and maybe you need to produce 2,000 in a month,
Yeah.
then you are facing a production problem, and everything just scatters. And then also, you know, the way we actually, I'm talking for Nigeria, we also have a lot of people who make stuff who sometimes they can't meet up with the demand. So you might have, just like the way this issue we always have with our tailors, where you give a tailor clothes, you give a tailor clothes to do, and then you start chasing the tailor up and down. So I think those are some of the problems, and I think us talking about it is also like opening up that conversation so that people can find new ways to make money. And okay, you were
another interesting conversation, right? So one thing I feel is a way to kind of bridge that gap, because we're talking about problems, right?
Yeah.
So when I say creators, except video people who have video content creators, we're talking about musicians, we're talking about business people as well, leveraging their fame or their popularity to sell products, right? A couple successful people, Wizkid with techno, Davido with Infinix, Davido with Martell, several artists with Hennessy and different other brands. But now, I've always thought about it. Can you name any household products that isn't food in Nigeria? Like, so if you go abroad, right, they're like household electronics, like Apple is a household phone.
Yeah, true.
Right? Or you have household kitchen appliances, or household clothes, like fashion,
like Nike,
you know, like
all of that.
you know. So what is household
so that's
in Nigeria that isn't food?
cement.
Well, I've never had to use cement personally, so I'm talking about that most people would use.
So I think the problem is it's a general problem with like Africa. Like we are just getting developed. So the major companies that most people built, that has been existing for a long period of time, are in the industries that people need to use like every day. So food is one major one. And then I also think, just like if we're talking about like when you mentioned like Apple now, we're not even at that stage yet for us to build a company that is a technological company that creates phones and laptops. It's difficult in Africa. And then if we're looking at the other side, for us to build even like clothing lines and stuff like that, it's still difficult because, especially, let me even talk for Nigeria, we don't have the industries to do that. So many of those things, they are starting up. So, and I think that's also where the problem lies. If I was in US now, or if I was in a I personally can decide to link up with a coffee company. And then they'll create a brand of coffee that is just Tayo Aina coffee. Maybe I drink a lot of coffee in my videos. But it's so difficult here. Because how do you even want to even start it?
But I think it can be done, right? So it's two things, right? First thing is like foresight, right? We've talked about this a couple times, where it's like we need our brand managers to start thinking right?
ahead.
I automatically see and I keep using Davido and Wizkid again because they are like undeniable. I don't want to use any video creators or any other creators because people can still argue. You might not know them, but like the average Nigerian knows Davido,
Wizkid,
right?
Burna
Boy, right? So if I'm a food company, for example, if I'm a fast food joint, there's no reason why I shouldn't have like a long-term partnership with like a Davido. So you come and buy the Davido burger, come and buy the Davido meal, and
that
you can put in
dope,
some little prizes in there. You get the opportunity this month. You get the opportunity to win like a signed mic from Davido. Or do it, Davido. You know.
Oh, that's
those are
marketing.
things that those are things that we need to begin to embrace. And I think well, I can't put it on the creators because the creators can't give themselves the deals, right? But I think also from the brand managers and the brand owners, they need to start thinking in this way where you have these people who are willing to leverage. And then as a creator as well, if you're a Davido or a Wizkid, a deal might not be enough, right? So you saying that because I'm endorsed by you, then you can use my name anyhow. It's also a conversation where you can say, okay, let's do the Davido bill, the Davido burger, whatever. But I want 50 naira off of every Davido meal
David
sold.
O'Meal, yeah.
Right. And these are the conversations that creators need to start having, where we're talking about longevity, right? We're talking about business where you're making these incremental amounts. Because if there's one thing that I know that is a beneficial thing for Nigeria, and why I personally think that doing business here will pay off eventually, is the numbers.
Yeah.
Like, we are 200 million plus people. There are very few countries that you can get that mass volume.
That mass volume of people,
right?
yeah.
And the richest people here are the people who leverage on volume.
On volume, true.
Dangote leverages on volume.
On volume, yeah.
His salt is probably
50 naira,
there's
100
no salt
naira.
that's more than 300 naira
Yeah.
that Dangote sells, but it's the volume he's counting on. The sugar is the volume he's counting on. Even the cement, you mentioned,
yeah.
it's the volume
It's the
he's
volume,
counting
yeah.
on. And as creators, we need to start thinking volume. I mean, the big payday is great, but we can't always have the big pay like, endorsement pack,
Yeah,
right?
true.
We need to start thinking that, and that's why I said food is important. But I think another important thing, which lends itself back to something that you're doing recently, right, is digital products, right?
Yeah, digital products.
I'll let you talk more about that.
Yeah, so digital products. So guys, if you're watching this,
Shameless plug, let's go. We love shameless plugs here. Let's go.
I'm releasing a YouTube course very soon. Like, it should be this week. By the time this video comes out, the course should be out already. So I'm releasing a course, and I realized over the periods I've started doing YouTube, I've started making YouTube videos, a lot of people have reached out to me and asking a lot of questions about YouTube, and even just going through the journey of the process of building a YouTube channel. It's not something they teach in school. Like, how I learned it wasn't like I went to any school. I just had to figure it out on my own. And I believe after figuring it out, like, that knowledge, as much as it serves two purposes, it can be productized to be another source of income, and then it can also be a source of also teaching a lot of people who want to start making stuff. So for me, like, creating a course is just more like a way to sort of show people like how it can be done, how they can get there faster. And there's this thing they say, those who don't know teach, but I believe those who know, those who have done it, can also teach how people. They are the best people to even teach, because there's proven record that we understand this thing. And also, I also see it as a way of, like, for me, and that's the reason I did it, because it's also seen as a way of, like, giving people a chance to build a platform for themselves. So creating something like that is, as much as it's all those things, it's also an extra source of revenue. Because one thing that happens, especially as YouTubers, is if you're just dependent on just your views alone, anything usually happens and then the algorithm changes and then you can't earn an income. Especially for somebody like me, who I spend a lot of money traveling to make the content I make. And then sometimes you travel and then the content might not do well and then you've lost a lot of money. So we need to find new ways to make a career, because it's a career, finding ways to make it sustainable. And those are where things like digital products come in. So digital products are not just only courses. If you're a photographer, a digital product can be a preset. If you are you can sell presets, you can sell lots.
You can sell videographers, can sell
transitions, even sound effects, effect packs. Producers can sell effect packs. So those are multiple ways. Like, I see creators creating another source of revenue for themselves by digital products. Like many of all these popular producers, they can sell. I think this Rex Sip on the beat, or all those people that make softs, they can sell like sound packs, and that people can buy, and they can even sell indigenous sound packs. Because that's another thing that happens. Like, the way. Okay, like, let me give you an example now. Like this, if you're listening to an Amapiano beat or whatever, there's this kick that you hear.
Oh, God.
A white person does not know where that beat is from. He doesn't know the sound of it. So he cannot create that the way we will create it. Because, so stuff like that, and I think those are ways where creators can also, like, monetize and find new revenue streams. Also, another one too is also memberships.
Bam.
So memberships programs, Patreon. There's even this platform where it's like buy me a coffee.
Yeah.
So if you want to support the creator, you just go there and you just pay like $2-3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So stuff like that are some multiple ways I feel creators can actually monetize.
I think the memberships thing is very important, and this is where, because people say we don't, talk about entrepreneurs enough. So this is where entrepreneurs can come in, right? You're an entrepreneur, maybe we like coffee here, so maybe you have a coffee company, you have a drinks company, you have a fashion company. You can start a subscription service, where you can get people to you can get people to talk about, you join, and maybe for this amount you can get a coffee
pack every month or something.
or you can get fashion pack every month, and then meanwhile you also have to find a way to increase your product offering. So maybe you're talking about coffee, or maybe you're talking about fashion, but then you have to now start creating content for like, okay, best way to if you sell shirts, okay, best way to maintain your shirts.
Yeah.
To keep your shirts crispy,
yeah.
longer and all of that. And there was something else I was thinking about, right? Back to Davido and Whiskey. Whiskey FC.
Yeah.
Big fan base.
Yeah.
Online. Imagine if Whiskey was able to monetize half of his fan base online, right? And like I said, because of the numbers, you can democratize it, right? Because I think the whole essence of this episode is residual income.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have to be bank all at once. It
Yeah.
could be those small incremental, income that comes eventually. So Whiskey FC, imagine if he has like an official like website, Whiskey FC,
where
pay this X amount of money, you can get
behind the scenes,
like Whiskey
Wizkid.
has let's say Whiskey has a vlog that he doesn't put on
That would
YouTube,
be
he just
amazing.
puts it on his,
on his platform.
personal platform, Whiskey
I'll
FC.
pay for that. I'll
Or
pay
you
for
can
that.
have him releasing, picking in on some of his studio sessions, or releasing some songs 24 hours before, the general public gets to listen to it. You get, alerts for private concerts, and these are all things that would come as just a slightly more cost for him, right? Like he doesn't have to spend X amounts.
Yeah.
Every artist already has a content team, so his content team, as well as creating content, will just create content for his, it could be Whiskey FC, it could be Davido's, fan base, it could be the Burners Giants.
That's very interesting. That's a very interesting concept.
I think I might do this.
Because when I think about it, I'm like, and I think it's even also stronger because when people are part of a group or part of like a membership, they feel there's strength in the community.
Yes.
Like, oh, okay, I'm part of Whiskey FC. Are you part of Whiskey FC? Like, it gives them this exclusivity. Like, oh, I'm part of this niche of groups that like what we have access to, you don't have access to it. So it's very interesting. And then when you said something now that resonated with me, I realized that people, the method has already been proven because people are willing to pay to watch Big Brother.
Yeah.
They are willing to pay to vote for somebody in the Big Brother house. Millions of people. So why wouldn't I be willing to pay to see what Whiskey is?
Imagine just 10,000 of Whiskey's fans, just 10,000. Pay $10 a month. That's $100,000 monthly. Times 12, that's $1.2 million in residual passive income. And Whiskey doesn't have to do anything else. He just has to have a camera sitting in one of his, things. By the time you remove costs, let's say a maximum of $200,000, you make it like $1 million off the cut.
And definitely there are more than 10,000 people who would. Worldwide.
I'm
you're trying to be conservative.
Right?
That's big.
So that's something that I feel like people, creators, need to look into more. Memberships, digital products. Yes, it might be hard to do like the physical products like we've established.
Yeah.
But even if you're physical products, we can still see that there are avenues in food, in some other products. Yeah, but
even
think outside the box.
Even in drinks, because I just thought about it now. Like somebody like Davido is like a lifestyle person, goes to club, does all that stuff. So why can't we have like a Davido? It doesn't have to be named Davido.
He has a Martell ambassadorship. There should be a Davido bottle, for example, right? And he, in turn, should be looking to make profit not just from the overall sale of no overall endorsement, but like, oh, on each bottle, you know what?
On
Don't
each
pay me an
bottle.
endorsement fee, but on each bottle, let me let me get
A percentage,
you know,
because
let me get 10%, let me get 5%, let me
that
get 2%.
that brings me to what you said now. Just brings me to something 50 Cent said when he did the deal with Vitamin Water.
Oh yeah.
50 Cent, when he saw the vitamin water company, he liked it, and he went to meet the people, the CEO, the
Yeah.
people behind it, and then they were like, what he even did was, how he even marketed it to them was, he made sure he drank vitamin water in one of his videos,
Yeah.
and then they reached out to him. So he said he put it in a video. It was like half a second, but people caught it. Like, so they reached out to me, were like, "Oh, we saw that you like our drink and used it in one of our videos. Okay, what about an endorsement deal?" And it was like, "No, he doesn't want an endorsement deal. Like, he wants a percentage on
Ownership,
every bottle,"
yes.
and he was going to help them market it. And that was insane because now he owned equity. And eventually, when Coca-Cola bought vitamin water, he made
That's a come
millions.
up. Yeah.
He made millions of dollars. Like,
Yeah, and that's the, so we've been talking about it from the creator's point of
Yeah.
view now. Again, to brand managers, brand owners, that's the point, right? That's the point. If you get these creators to be invested in your,
In your
products
product,
by giving them, it's not. It could be stock options. It could
Yeah.
be advisory shares. It could be.
It's much stronger.
Royalties.
Yeah.
You know, 50 kobo off of every bottle sold, right? Do like a whiskey Coke version,
Yeah.
a whiskey Pepsi bottle,
Pepsi bottle.
right? And watch him put in the work. He's going to make sure that he's always you don't have to, because right now a lot of things I know a lot of brand managers, and their problem is that when they get a lot of these creators, musicians, all of that, they have to almost coerce them to say, okay, please don't
Okay,
forget
so
to put
talk
this in your
about
video.
this. Yeah, yeah,
But if
yeah.
you tie it to residual income, for example, it's going to be, he's going to make sure he carries that bottle everywhere, because
Everywhere.
he knows that his profit is
Tied to the effort.
performance of that
Yeah,
product.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that is something that is we definitely need to do more to monetize for both parties.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah, we're done. What's
Creator of the week.
Creator of the week.
Tayo, every week. My creator of the week is Fez. Fez is goes by the handle It's Fez on Instagram, and basically he's a storyteller, cinematographer. He makes a lot of cool edits, and basically does a lot of like culture curation in terms of just capturing moments in a very cool way. So it's Fez on Instagram, cool dude. I know him personally, and yeah, I love his work. So check him out. What about you?
Yeah, I think for me, my creator of the week is Ose. He's a photographer in Tanzania. He takes like awesome pictures. His grid is so amazing. Like, I like when people put thoughts behind their work.
Yeah.
So he creates really awesome stuff. So shout out to him.
All right. Shout out. All right, guys. Thank you for another episode of The African Creator. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We look forward to meeting new creators on the next episode. Till next time.
See you on the next one. Peace.